Project for this year is a 3D model I made using Vectory. I originally designed it for a different competition for First LEGO League, and I used it again for ACTE. This project for First LEGO League because one of the requirements was to have a 3D model of, or not 3D model, a physical design of your innovative project. And I decided to make a 3D model and then print that 3D model. It took a couple of days to design the model itself through making it and then changing it to make it look better and just adding a couple of things. Then when I actually printed it for the first time, some parts were too thin and could really easily break, so I had to go back and I had to redesign it. I had to redesign it and thicken a couple of parts. Then I had to reprint it. So it took about 2 weeks in total, about 2 weeks to create the entire thing and print it and then redesign it and reprint it. The process that I used is the engineering design process. You start, and we were thinking of different ways that we could make a physical design of our innovative project, and we decided on a 3D model. So while the other people were working on our actual innovative project and our robot, I created a 3D model of our plane. Physical design of our innovative project. We had a couple of different ideas of what we could do, but we decided to go with 3D model. And so we used the engineering design process to help me make the model to get it to its best possible form. So it starts with the brainstorming, and then you move on, you make a prototype. So I made the prototype, and then when I printed it, some parts of it were too thin, would break way too easily. So then I went back, I redesigned it, and I made the parts thicker. I went back and I reprinted it, and then that's what we used for our competition. I use Vectory.com. It's a free 3D modeling website I just found on the internet. So the creative process was mostly in the brainstorming phase, when we were all trying to come up with different ways. But when we eventually settled on the 3D model, we then came up with an actual 2D design for what we were going to make in 3D. So we started there, we made the design. We found a blueprint of an actual plane that we based it off of, called the E2 Hawkeye, made by Northrop Grumman. And then I took that blueprint and I made a design loosely based off of that plane's blueprint. The easiest part was probably coming up with the idea, as most things are. But then actually designing it wasn't super hard. But then the most difficult part was when it was actually printed. So when it prints, it has a bunch of support beams and stuff attached to it, so it doesn't break once you take it out of the printer. And one of the hardest and most difficult parts was to cut off all those beams, sort of separate them from the actual innovative product, from the actual plane, or the actual model. So I managed to create and print 3D models. I learned how to take the shapes and put them in and manipulate them to get just the right angle and just the right shape they needed to be, because not all of the default shapes actually fit the design the way we needed them to. I had to change the thickness, I had to change the length and the width and the height and all that. Maybe if I reprint it, it could come out a little smoother, because right now the actual model is kind of rough. This project is special because there's so many different versions of it, and so many different things that are used to create it, because you've got the actual computer that I designed it on, and the software that was used to design it, the 3D printer that printed the model, and all the tools that I used to separate it from the support beam. Then you have the actual model itself, which exists in the real world. My project is important because it shows that anybody can make a 3D model, even
You're good.
My project is important because it shows anybody can make a 3D model if they want to using a school computer and a free website online. 3D modeling is a very important skill. It can be used to create a simple prototype cost effectively, and it saves a lot of contractor time and money.
Did you have fun?
Yes.